would like to tell you a story. If you care for journeys there and back, out of the comfort Western world, over the edge of the wild and homeward, you can take an interest in a humble hero, blessed with a little wisdom, a little courage, and considerable good luck. Here is a record of such a journey and such a travel. The time is the ancient period between the age of fairy and the dominion of men, when the great forest of Maverick is still standing, and the mountains were full of danger. In following the path of this humble adventure, you will learn by the way as he did, if you do not already know about these things, much about trolls, goblins, dwarves, and elves. You will see how he conversed with the dragons, Smog the Magnificent, and was present, rather unwillingly, at the Battle of the 5 Armies. This was all the more remarkable, since he was a hobbit. He lived in a hole in the ground, not a nasty, dirty, wet hole. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. This particular hobbit was a very well-to-do hobbit, and his name was Care for journeys there and back, out of the comfortable western world, over the edge of the wild, and had never had any adventures or did anything unexpected. You could tell what a Baggins would say on any question without the bother of asking him. This is a story of how a Baggins had an adventure and found himself doing insane things altogether unexpected.
Oh my!
By some curious chance, one morning after Bilbo had finished his breakfast, Gandalf came by. Gandalf. If you had heard a quarter of what I have heard about him, and I have heard very little of all there is to hear, you would be prepared for any sort of remarkable tale. Yet all the unsuspecting Bilbo saw that morning was an old man with a staff.
Good morning.
Said Bilbo, and he meant it.
Whatever do you mean? Do you wish me a good morning? Or do you mean that it's a good morning whether I want one or not? Or that you feel good this morning? Or that it's a morning to be good off?
All of them at once, and a very fine morning for a pipe of tobacco, out of doors, into the bargain.
Very pretty, but I have no time for blowing smoke rings this morning. I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure I'm arranging, and it's very difficult to find anyone.
Well, I should think so in these parts. We are plain, quiet folk and have no use for adventures. Nasty, disturbing, uncomfortable things would make you late for dinner. I can't think what anybody sees in them. Good morning.
My, what an awful lot of things you use good morning. Now you mean you want to get rid of me and it won't be good till I move off.
Not at all, my dear sir. Let me see. I don't think I know your name.
Yes, my dear sir. And I do know your name, Mr. Bilbo Baggins. And you do know my name, though you don't remember I belong to it. I am Gandalf. And Gandalf means me.
Gandalf, good gracious me. Not the wandering wizard that gave old Took a pair of magic diamond studs that fastened themselves and never came undone till ordered. Well, not the fellow who used to tell such wonderful tales at parties about dragons and goblins and giants. Not the man who used to make such particularly excellent fireworks. Bless me, life used to be quite interesting. Well, you used to upset things badly in these parts once upon a time. I beg your pardon, I had no idea you were still in business.
Where else should I be? All the same, I am pleased to find that you remember something about me. So I will give you what you asked for.
I beg your pardon, I haven't asked for anything.
Yes, you have. Twice now. My pardon. I give it to you. In fact, I will go so far as to send you on this adventure. Very amusing for me, very good for you, and profitable too, very likely, if you ever get over it.
Sorry, I don't want any adventures, not today anyway, thank you. Good morning. But please, come to tea anytime you like. Why not tomorrow? Yes, come tomorrow.
Bilbo certainly thought he had escaped this adventure, and by the next day, he had almost completely forgotten about Gandalf. He did not remember things very well. Just before tea time, there came a tremendous knock on the front door, and then he remembered.
Oh, what
What on earth did I invite him to tea for? I am sorry to keep you waiting.
But it was not Gandalf at all. It was a dwarf.
Waylon, at your service.
Bilbo Baggins, it's yours.
What would you do if an uninvited dwarf came and hung his things up in your hall without a word of explanation?
I am just about to take tea break.
A little beer would suit me better if it's all the same to you, my good sir. And some cake, too. Seed cake, if you have any.
Lots. Excuse me. So you have got here at last.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, what can I do for you, my dwarf?
Healing at your service. And feeling.
I see they've begun to arrive already.
Thank you. That is yours and your family's.
It was not the right thing to say, but they have begun to arrive and flustered him quite badly. He liked visitors, but he liked to know them before they arrived, and he preferred to act them himself.
Come along in and have some tea.
Oh, Waylon's here. Let's join the throng.
I don't like the sound of that.
What of the cakes? And ale? And coffee, too, if you don't mind.
And pork pies and salad. And minced pies and cheeses. And raspberry jam. And apple tarts.
Someone at the door! Gandalf for certain this time. As long as it's not your other dwarf.
But it was not another dwarf at all. That was too wide.
Stay there.
Don't break the door. It was installed last week.
It's not like you, Bilbo, to leave friends waiting on the mat and then open the door like a pup. Yes, well, may I introduce Bob? And, most especially, Thor. That's your service.
Yes. I'm so very sorry. Very, very sorry indeed.
Pray don't.
Well, now that we're all here, quite a merry gathering. I hope there's something left for the latecomers to eat and drink. A little red wine, I think, for me.
And for me.
And just bring out the cold chicken and pickles.
Chicken and pickles. Know as much about the inside of my lodges as I do myself. An unexpected party.
Poor Bilbo was feeling positively flustered, and had begun to wonder whether a most wretched adventurer had not come right into his house. He was getting very hot, and red in the face, and annoyed.
Rusticating for bother, these dwarves! Why don't they come and lend a hand?
Let us lend a hand.
Oh, thank you. Oh, careful, it's hot, it's hot. I suppose you will all stay to supper?
Oh, yes.
Of course. And after. We shan't get through the business till late. You must have some music first. Yes. Oh.
Yes. Far over the misty mountains cold, through caverns deep and dungeons old, we must away at break of day to seek the pale enchanted gold. The dwarves of yore made mighty spells, while hammers fell like ringing bells in places deep where darkling sleep in hollow halls beneath the fells. On silver necklaces they strung, the flowering stars on crowns they hung, the dragon's fire and twisted wire, they meshed the lights of moon and sun. The mountains smoked beneath the moon, the dwarves they heard the tramp of doom, the dragon's ire, more fierce than fire, lay below their towers beneath the moon.
As they sang, Bilbo felt the love of beautiful things made by hands and by cunning and by magic move through him. A fierce and a jealous love, the desires of the hearts of dwarves. He wished to go and see the great mountains, and hear the pine trees and the waterfalls, and explore the great caves, and wear a sword instead of a walking stick. But then he thought of plundering dragons settling in the Shire and kindling it all to flames, and very quickly he was playing Mr. Baggins again.
Where are you going?
What about a little light?
We like the dark.
Dark.
But dark. fine.
I'm terribly sorry. Pardon me.
Hush. Let Thorin speak.
Gandalf, dwarves, and Mr. Baggins. We are met together in the house of our friend and fellow conspirator, this most excellent and audacious Hobbit, to discuss our plans. We shall soon, before the break of day, start on our long journey. A journey from which some of us, perhaps all of us, may never return. It is a solemn moment. Our object is, I take it, well known to us all.
He was not, of course, well known to Mr. Baggins, but he was still wagging his mouth in protest at being called audacious and fellow conspirator. And worst of all,
May never return!
Did you see that?
Nervous little gentleman, but he is one of the best. One of the best. As fierce as a dragon in a pinch.
if you've ever seen a dragon in a pinch, you will know that this was poetical exaggeration applied to any point.
Will he do you think? No! It's one thing for the wizard to talk about it being fierce, but one shriek like that in a moment of real excitement would be enough to wake the dragon and all his relatives and kill the lot of us.
It sounds more like fright than excitement.
Now, if it had not been for the sign on the door, I should have been sure we had come.
As soon as I clapped my eyes on him puffing and puffing on the map, I had my doubts.
He looks more like a grocer than a burglar.
Pardon me if I have overheard words you were saying. I don't pretend to understand what you're talking about or your reference to burglars. But I think I am right in believing that you think I am no good. I will show you. I have no signs on my door. It was painted a week ago. And I'm quite certain you've come to the wrong house. Treat it as the right one. Tell me what you want done. I will try it.
I assure you there is a mark on this door. The usual one in the trade. Burglar wants a good job.
Of course there is a mark. I put it there myself. And for very good reasons. You asked me to find the sixth man for your expedition, and I chose Mr. Baggins. That ought to be enough for all of you. If I say he is a burglar he is. Or will be when the time comes. There's more in him than you guess. A deal more than he has any idea of himself, wizard speaking. May possibly all live to thank me yet. Now, Thorin, this was made by Theare, your grandfather. It is a plan of the mountain.
I don't see how this will help us much. I remember the mountain well enough, and the lands well.
Hey, look. There's a dragon marked in red right there on the mountain. He'll be easy enough to find without that, though. This is so
There is a point that you haven't noticed, and that is the hidden passage. You see that rune on the west side? That marks a hidden passage to the lower halls.
It may have been a secret once, but how do we know that it's a secret any longer?
What the map says, I should guess that that is a closed door made to look exactly like the side of the mountain. Also, I forgot to mention that with the map went a key. Here it is. Keep it safe.
Indeed I will. I have often wondered about my father's and grandfather's escape. I see now that they must have had a private side door which only they knew about. Apparently, they made a map. I should like to know how Gandalf got hold of it.
I did not get hold of it. I was given it. I found your father a prisoner, and he gave me this to give to you. And I have chosen my own time and way of handing it over. I can hardly be blamed, considering the difficulty I had in finding you. Your father could not remember his own name when he gave me this, and he never told me yours. So on the whole, I think I ought to be praised and thanked.
What about bed and an early start? Huh? I will give you a good breakfast before you go.
Before we go, I suppose you mean. It will be your job to go inside.
That's right.
Yes, I should like to know a bit more about things. I mean about the gold and the dragon and so forth, and how it got there, and who it belongs to, and so on. Yes.
Bless me, didn't you hear the song?
All the same, I should like it all plain and clear. Also, I should like to know about risks, out-of-pocket expenses, time required, and so on.
By which he meant, what am I going to get out of this? And am I going to come back alive?
Very well. Long ago, in my
And they never enjoy a brass ring of it.
there was a most especially greedy, strong, and wicked worm called Small. One day he flew up into the air. The first we heard of it was a noise like a hurricane. Some of the dwarves who happened to be outside, I was one. We saw the dragon settle on our mountain in a spout of flame. The dwarves rushed out of their great gate, but there was the dragon waiting for them. None escaped.
Smog. Routed out through our tunnels, our halls, and our lanes. When he was done, there wasn't a dwarf left alive inside. He took all of our wealth for himself.
A few of us dwarves who were well outside sat and wept in hiding and cursed Smog. There, we were unexpectedly joined by my father and grandfather with singed beards. The town of Dale was deserted, and still is. We went away. We had to earn our livings as best we could, often sinking so low as blacksmith work or even coal mining. But we have never forgotten our stolen treasure.
Gold, emeralds, silver. But the fairest of all is the great white jewel that we found at the roots of the mountain, the very heart of the mountain itself. The Arkenstone of Frame.
The Arkenstone. It was like a globe, 1,000 facets. It shone like silver in the firelight, like water in the sun, like snow on the stars. We mean to get it back, and to bring our curses home to Snow. For now, I agree about bed and breakfast. We should rest now before the break of day.
So, the Hobbit was forced to find room for them all. He filled all his spare rooms, and he made beds out of chairs and sofas. Before he finally got the loss stowed away. And then he went to bed, very tired, and not altogether happy. As he lay there, he could hear Thorin humming to himself in the best bedroom next to him.
Over the misty mountains go, to dungeons deep and caverns cold. We must away ere break of day to find our long forgotten gold.
Bilbo went to sleep with that in his ears, and it gave him very uncomfortable dreams. It was long after the break of day when he woke up.
Dear me, fallen asleep in the dining room.
There he saw nobody but a fearful mess, and he was forced to believe the party of the night before had not been caught of his bad dreams, as he had rather hoped.
In a way, I'm rather relieved to think they have all gone without me. Don't be a fool, Bilbo Baggins, thinking of dragons and all that outlandish nonsense at your age.
Yes, sir. Whenever are you going to come?
No.
What about an early start? You're going to have to run.
But no.
Let's get on. Now, let's go. Now.
At the end of his days, Bilbo never remembered how he found himself outside, without a hat, a walking stick, or any money, not even a pocket handkerchief. And that is how it all came to start. Jumping off from the inn one morning just before Mary, and they went along very merrily. They told stories and sang songs, and rode forth all day, without stopping, of course, except when it came to meals, which did not come quite as often as Bilbo would have liked. Still, he was beginning to believe that adventures were not quite so bad after all. At first, they passed through Hobbit lands, a wide, respectable country inhabited by decent people. Then they passed through lands where people spoke strangely, and sang songs Bilbo had never heard before. And now, they passed through the lowlands, where there were no people left, no wings, and the roads grew steadily worse.
All the burgling and everything to do with it. I wish I was back home in my nice hole by the fire, with the kettle just beginning to sing.
It was not the last time that he would wish that. They moved to a clump of trees by an ancient old bridge. Walls can make a fire almost anywhere, and out of almost anything, wind and over it, but they could not do it that night. That's how it all came to start.
The ponies! The ponies! The ponies are gone!
They took fright at nothing and bolted!
Crossed the river before we could catch them!
We were almost drowned! All of our baggage is gone!
Well, there'll be mighty little left for supper.
That's for breakfast.
It was just then that they noticed that Gandalf was missing.
Huh. But just when a wizard would have been useful, too.
There they all sat, glum and wet and muttering, when Drayden, who was always their lookout man, said,
A light off in the distance in that dark clump of trees. Reddish, twinkling like torches or a campfire. Should we go look?
Yeah?
No. These parts are none too well known, and are too near the mountains. Travelers seldom come this way.
The less inquisitive you are as to go along, the less trouble you are likely to
Where
find.
has Gandalf got to?
We have got a burglar with us. No, I'm not ready.
No, let's go on and find out all about that light. What it is for.
By myself.
All is perfectly safe and carried. Now, scuttle off, but come back quickly if all is well. If not, come back if you can. If you can, once like a barn, once like a screech owl.
Look, Hobbit. I cannot hoot even once like any kind of owl, any more than fly like a bat.
At any rate, hobbits can move quietly in the woods. They take a certain pride in it. I don't suppose even a weasel would have stirred a whisker at it. So, naturally, he crept right up to the fire. A fire it was, without disturbing anyone. And this is what he saw. They were trolls.
Since we came down from the mountain, how much more do you want?
Yes, I'm afraid trolls do behave like that, even though with only one hand each. Now, a really first-class and legendary burglar would at this point have picked the troll's pockets, and Bilbo knew this. He'd read of a good many things he had never seen or done, and out of the various burglarious proceedings, picking the troll's pockets seemed the least difficult. So finally, he crept behind the tree, just behind William.
What is it? Let me by now. What are you? you! Come here, you! Are there any more of your sort sneaking around these here woods? You nasty little rabbits!
Yes, lots! No, not one!
What do you mean?
No, please! Don't cook me, kind sirs! I'm a good cook myself. I cook better than I cook. You see what I mean? I'll cook beautifully for you.
Oh, poor little liar! Let him go! Not till he says what he means by lost, and none at all! I won't have it! You're fat fool, will you? And you're allowed!
Right in the middle of the fight, up here, wait. The dwarves have been hearing noises from a distance, and after waiting for some time, for something like an hour, they began to creep towards the light.
Let me go!
Not daring to move. It was just then that Gandalf came back, but no one saw him.
No good boiling him now, it'd take all night. Don't start the argument all over again, Bill. Who's arguing? You are! You're a liar!
So the argument continued. For over an hour they argued.
No need roasting them. Shut up! Shut up yourself! Who's arguing with you, I'd like to know? You're a movie! You're a movie!
So the argument continued hotter than ever, until at long last they decided to sit on the doors one by one and squash them.
Who should we sit on first? Better sit on the last fellow first! That's not proper to yourself! Which one is he? The one with the blue cloak! Nonsense! The one with the green cloak! What? Well, make sure it was blue! Blue it was! Then what did you say it was green for? I never did! Tom said it! I never did! It was you! You're the ones who shut your mouth! Who are you talking to? Stop it! The night's getting on and dawn comes early! Let's get on with it! Talking you out is talking!
Just then the light came over the hill, and a mighty twitter sounded in the branches. Gwyn never spoke, for he turned the stone as he stooped, and right in town stuck like rocks looking at him. And that is where they stand to this day all alone. For trolls, as you probably know, must be underground before the day break. They go back to the stuff of the mountains of which they are made of and never move again.
Excellent. Silly time to go practicing pitching and pickpocketing. What we wanted was fire and food.
Roast mutton!
And that's exactly what you wouldn't have got with those fellows. Not without a struggle in any case.
There's a good deal of food in that cave here. Also these.
These are not troll make. These are old swords, very old swords. Elvish blades. Well, these were made in Gondolin for the Goblin Wars. So made that the blades glow with a blue light when goblins are near. This door in the rune's name Orcris, the Goblin Cleaver. It's a famous blade. This is Glamdring, bow hammer that the King of Gondolin once wore.
I shall keep this sword in honor, and soon cleave goblins once again.
I wish that'll be granted soon enough in the mountains. They know these weapons by other names, Beater and Biter. They'll remember them well enough.
Let's get out of this horrible smell.
Where did you go to, if I may ask?
Looking ahead,
And what brought you back in the nick of time?
looking behind.
Exactly.
So, after a short rest, they began their journey through the misty mountains. There were many paths that led into these mountains, over hill and under hill. But most of these paths were cheats and deceptions, and led to nowhere or to bad ends. Bilbo and the dwarves, helped with the wise advice of Gandalf, took the right road to the right paths. But even the good plans of wise wizards and good friends can go astray sometimes when you are off on dangerous adventures over the edge of the wild. They were going up and up and up. The nights were comfortless and chill. They dared not sing or talk too loud, for the echoes were uncanny, and the silence seemed to dislike being broken.
Summer is getting on down below, and they will be harvesting, and there will be picnics, and there will be haymaking and blackberrying before we even begin to go down the other side of this race.
All was well until one day they met a thunderstorm. More than a thunderstorm, a thunder battle. The lightning splintered in the peaks, and the rocks shivered, and the darkness is filled with overwhelming noise and sudden light.
Well, this won't do at all. If we don't get blown off the mountain or struck by lightning or drowned, might be picked up by some giant and kicked sky high for a football. You know someplace better big as this.
We have found the dry cave!
Just around the corner.
Have you thoroughly explored?
Yes!
Yes.
It's not that big!
Just not go too far back. Quickly. This way.
That, of course, is the dangerous part about dreams. You do not know how far they go back. Yet for now, Davy and Kitty's news seemed good enough. They were sheltered under a hanging rock for the night. It was a size not too large and mysterious. They talked and talked, and forgot about the storm, and discussed what each would do with his share of the treasure.
I will not rest until I can feel the Arkenstone in my own two hands.
Is the lonely mountain close by at all?
Hardly. We're only now at the foot of the Misty Mountains. We still have to cross them, go through the moon, past the Long Lakes, and even then lies the lonely mountain far in the east, where smog lies on our treasure.
Now, get some sleep, Dog Master.
And so the dwarves drifted off to sleep one by one. But for some reason, Bilbo could not go to sleep for a long while. And so, it would turn out a good thing that night that they had brought little Bilbo with them, after all.
Clap, snap, clack, clack.
Surprised to learn. Murderers and friends of elves, not unlikely. Come, what have you to say?
Go on the door, we sheltered from a storm in what seemed a convenient cave, and unused. Nothing was further from our thoughts than inconveniencing goblins in all way whatsoever.
So you said. Might I ask what you were doing in the mountains at all? In fact, I'd like to know all about you. Though it would not do you much good, Thorin Oakenshield. I know far too much of your kind already.
We are all our relatives who live on the east side of this mountain.
He's a liar. All true and true. He has not explained that. Murderers and elf friends. Slash them, leave them like that. Take them down to the house. Stay off.
been left behind? Or why, if you have been left behind, have the goblins not caught me? And why is my head so sore? So it is an elvish blade, too. The goblins are not very near, and yet not far enough. Go back. No good at all. Go sideways, impossible. Go forward. Only thing to do. On we go.
On and on he went, down and down. I do not know how long he went on like this, hating to go on, not daring to stop. On and on, until he was tireder than tired. Now Bilbo was in certainly what you would call a tight place, but it was not so tight for him as it would have been for you or me. Hobbits are not quite like ordinary creatures. They are more used to tumbling than we are, and they do not lose their sense of direction easily underground. Also, they can move very quietly, hide very easily, and recover wonderfully from falls and bruises. All the same, I would not have liked to have been in Mr. Baggins' place. There are strange things living in the pools and lakes, in the hearts of Maverick.
Precious, my precious. We guess it's a choice feast. At least a tasty morsel it would make us.
Who are you?
What is he, my precious?
I am Mr. Bilbo Baggins. I have lost the dwarves and I've lost the wizard. I don't know where I am and I don't want to. If only I can get away.
What has he got in his hands, precious?
Sword! A blade which came out of Gondolin.
Perhaps he sits and chats with us a bit, see, eh, precious? Does it like riddles? Does it?
Riddles? Very well. You ask first.
What has roots as nobody sees, taller than trees? Up, up, up it goes, yet never grows.
Easy. Mountain, I suppose.
Does it guess easy, precious? It must have competition with us. If we ask it and it does not answer, we eat it, my precious. But if we ask it and it answers, we does what it wants. We shows it the way out.
All right. 30 white horses on a red hill. The first they champ, then they stamp, then they stand still.
Teeth it is. Teeth! My precious only has 6. It cannot be seen, cannot be felt, cannot be heard, cannot be smelt. It lies behind stars and under hills. In empty holes it lives. It comes first, it follows after. It ends life, it kills laughter.
Riddles in the dark.
Dark!
A box without hinges, key or lid. Yet golden treasure inside is hid. Well, what is it?
Gives us a chance, precious. Gives us a chance.
Ah, the answer's not a kettle boiling over, as you seem to think by the noise you're making. Where? What about your guess?
Oh, Axis! Axis!
Correct.
This thing, all things devours. Birds, beasts, trees, flowers. It gnaws iron. It bites steel. It grinds hard stones to meal. It slays kings. It ruins towns. It beats high mountains down. Is it nice, precious? Is it juicy? Is it scrumptiously crunchable?
Half a moment! I gave you a good long chance just now!
Oh, it must make haste, precious. Haste.
Give me time.
What time? What time? Oh, it must ask us now, precious. It must ask us a riddle. It must ask us. Ask us.
What have I got in my pocket?
What? That's not fair. That's not fair.
He had nothing to himself. Gollum, what was a riddle?
It isn't fair to ask us what it's got in its nasty little pockets.
What have I got in my pocket?
It must give us 3 guesses, precious. 3 guesses.
Very well. Guess away.
Hand!
Wrong! Guess again.
Knife!
Wrong again. Last chance. Come on! Stop waiting. Time's up.
String! Or nothing!
Both wrong. Well now, what about your promise? I want to go. Come, you must show me the way.
Did we say, precious, we will show the nasty little Baggins the way out? Did we, precious? Oh, but what has it got in its pockets, eh? Not string, but not nothing.
Never you mind. A promise is a promise.
Impatient is it? Cross it is. Oh, but we cannot go down the tunnels so hasty. No, it must wait. Yes, we must show you something first. Something that will help us. Yes.
Well, hurry up.
Oh, I find it on my birthday.
To keep out in the dark lane.
My precious. We will put it on, yes. We will put it on. And then that little sword will be useless. Yes, useless. Where is it? Where is it? My precious! My precious is lost! Curses and crashes! My precious! My precious is lost!
What's the matter? What have you lost?
Must not ask us! Not its base is gold! Lost! It is gold! Gold!
Well, so am I! And I want to get unlost! And I won the game and you promised, so come along! Come down and let me out and then go on with your looking! Come along!
No, we must find it first! My precious! Find it!
But you never guessed my last question, and you promised!
Never guessed what it has in its pockets tells us That tells us that!
Answers were to be guessed, not given.
It was not a fair question, not a riddle!
Well, it's a matter of ordinary questions. Then I ask one first. What have you lost? Tell me that!
What has it got in its pockets?
What have you lost?
What has it got in its pockets?
What have I? I wonder.
The maggots! He's found it! He's found it! My precious! He's found my precious! Oh, what has he got in his pockets?
It seems I have found a magic ring. It makes me invisible. I have heard of such things in old tales, of course. But to think I have actually found one by accident!
After all these years, my precious is lost! Oh, we will find the maggots. We will find him, and we will squeeze him, we will! We will! Oh, he's tricksy, he is. He knows a way in. He must know a way out. Yes. To the back door! To the back door! Oh, but there's goblins down there. There's goblins, and they will find my precious. They will put it on, and they will know what it does. No! No, we must make haste! Make haste! To the back door!
On they went, Gollum flip-flapping ahead, hissing and cursing. Bilbo going behind as softly as a hobbit can. Side passages opened this way and that way, until at last they came to a low opening in the ground. Gollum had shown Bilbo the way out, after all.
We daren't go down there. There's goblins down there. We can smell them, I can. No, we must go.
Gollum was defeated. He had lost his prey and lost too the only thing he ever cared for, his precious. Bilbo followed the passage down and out of the mountains. He'd escaped the tunnels of the goblins, but he did not know where he was. He wandered on and on, until the sun began to sink westward behind the mountains.
Dear me, I seem to have got right to the other side of the misty mountains. Where can Gandalf and the dwarves have got to? I only hope to goodness they are still not back there, in the power of the goblins. I wonder whether I ought not, now that I have the magic ring, go back into the horrible tunnels and look for my friends. I must go back. It is my duty.
Wayland was the one charged with looking out of it.
Wayland
was entirely responsible.
Back
to go back into the mountains and will not be leading a charge.
I feel responsible for it. I wish to goodness you had not lost him.
It's been more trouble than you so far.
If we have got to go back into those abominable tunnels to look for him, well then brought him, I say.
Aye.
I brought him, and I don't bring things that are of no use. Either you help me find him again, or I'm going to leave you here to get out of this mess as best you can yourselves. Whenever did you go and let go of him for, Dwaylen?
You would have let go of him too if a goblin had grabbed your legs, who kicked you in the back, and trimmed up your feet from
Why
behind.
didn't you pick him up again?
Good heavens, can you ask? Goblins fighting and biting in the dark, everyone tripping over bodies and hitting one another. You nearly chopped off my head with Glamdring, and there was Thorin stabbing here and there and everywhere with Orgrimmar. And then you gave one of your blinding flashes, and we saw the goblins running back heelping. You shouted, "Follow me, everyone!" And everyone ought to have followed.
Well, we thought everyone had.
We had no time to count! As you well know, Theare ran past the gate guards, down out the lower door, and helter-skelter down here to the foot of the mountain.
And here we are without the burglar.
Confusticated!
Fine!
And here's your burglar!
Well, Bilbo, would you care to explain how you came to be here?
Oh, you know, just crept along very carefully, quietly.
Well, that's the first time that anyone has ever crept along carefully and quietly under my very nose and not been spotted. My hood's off to you. Dwaylen at your service.
Your servant, Mr. Baggins.
What did I tell you? Mr. Baggins has more about him than you guess.
It is a fact that Bilbo's reputation went up a great deal with the dwarves after this. If they still doubted that he really was a first-class burglar, in spite of Gandalf's words, they doubted it no longer.
We better be getting on at once now that we're a little rested. They will be out after us in the hundreds before night comes on, and already shadows are lengthening. They can smell our footsteps for hours and hours after we have passed.
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Let them come. They've only tasted what I have to give.
We're very lucky to catch them by surprise and unorganized. A goblin battalion prepared for war is nothing to laugh at, as your father discovered. Every last one of them will be on our heels shortly. We've got to be miles on before dusk. Yes, there'll be a bit of moon. That is lucky if it keeps fine.
Only a bit of moon.
Oh, I forgot. You lose track of time in goblin tunnels. Today is Thursday, and it was Monday evening or Tuesday morning when we were captured. We've gone miles and miles right down through the heart of the mountain. Quite a short cut. Let's get on.
It was difficult to think of pursuing goblins behind, but when they had put many miles between them and the misty mountains, they began to talk and sing again. After several days in some queer lodgings, they could see Mirkwood Forest coming as if it were to meet them, or like a black and frowning wall before them. The land began to slope up and up, and the hobbits seemed to sense a silence beginning to draw in upon them. Birds began to sing less. There were no more deer, not even rabbits were to be seen. By the afternoon they had reached the eaves and myrtle. The trunks were huge and gnarly, the branches twisted, the leaves were dark and long.
Well, this is Mirkwood, greatest of the forests of the northern world. I hope you like the looks of it.
Must we really continue on? My toes are all bruised and bent, and my legs ache, and my stomach is wagging like an empty sack. Must we really go through?
Yes, you must, if you want to get to the other side. You must go through or give up your quest. And I am not about to let you back out now, Mr. Baggins. I'm ashamed of you for even thinking of it. I've got to look after all of those dwarves for me.
You speak as if you will not be coming. What?
I had planned to see you all safe, if possible, over the mountains. And, by good management and good luck, I've done it. Indeed, we are a good deal further east than I ever planned to come with you. After all, this is not my adventure. We may meet again before all is over, and then again, of course, we may not. That depends on your good luck, and on your courage and sense. And I'm sending Mr. Baggins with you. Cheer up, Thorin, and comfort him. This is your expedition, after all. Think of the treasure at the end. Your way through Mirkwood is dark, dangerous, and difficult. Water is not easy to find there, nor food. In there, the wild things are dark, queer, and savage. Straight on the path is your way now. Do not stray off of the path, for if you do, it is 1,000 to 1 you will never find it again and never leave Mirkwood. And I don't suppose I, or anyone else, will ever see you.
Very comforting you are, to be sure. Goodbye. Don't come with us. We better get off without any more talk.
Goodbye, then. Be good. Take care of yourselves. And don't leave the path.
And so began the most dangerous part of all the journey. They turned from the light that lay on the lands outside and plunged deep into the forest. They walked in single file. As their eyes became used to the dimness, they could start to see a little to either side in a sort of darkened green glimmer. It was not long before they grew to hate the forest as heartily as they'd hated the tunnels of the goblins, and it seemed to offer any less hope of any ending. Still, they knew they must go on and on, long after they were sick for a sight of the sun and of the sky, and to feel the wind upon their faces. The nights were the worst.
It is truly pitch dark. Not what you call pitch dark, but really pitch. So black you can really see nothing.
I am so hungry.
Must be extremely careful with the provisions.
Well, you can try catching another squirrel.
No! Tried many times. Wasted all the throwing knives doing so. All you managed to bring down was one measly squirrel on the mound. That one proved horrible to taste.
We don't like these cobwebs.
Well, at least they're not stretched out across the path.
But is that because the magic keeps them clear? Or is it for some other reason that we cannot guess?
I see gleams in the darkness. Pairs of yellow, red, and green eyes.
Flies. Flies and spiders.
Horrible, pale, bulbous sorts of eyes. Insect eyes, not animal eyes. Only they are much too big.
I see if we should keep moving. We haven't seen this.
And I'm thirsty too. And all this time we've seen neither spring nor spring.
Well, perhaps it will rain!
You cannot quench a terrible thirst by standing under large oaks waiting for a chance drop to fall on your tongue. Hey, don't walk away when I'm yelling at you, Feely.
I'm always last and I don't like it. It's somebody else's turn today.
Should not be so fast. Let's go.
I found a bit of water back there.
Bring it
I managed to collect a bit of it, but then it ran dry.
Wait, that water is black, or it looks it in this glue.
Well, I'm happy to drink it, whatever its color.
Would not think that was very wise.
Wasn't wise to come here in the first place.
Calm down.
It wasn't wise to...
Wasn't wise.
What?
Boom!
Why?
On his back! On his back!
Catch his head.
Do you think is he?
He's breathing.
Oh no, he's not dead. No, he's sleeping.
Curse our ill luck! Seems whatever water flows here is enchanted against us. Is there no end to this accursed force? We will have to carry him.
What?
It will take 4 of us. We can take turns, and the extra person will share the burden of our packs.
Oh, good. Well, those are a bit lighter nowadays.
Oh, longer's a poor exchange for packs filled with food. Sorry. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wait! There's a light. Off the distance.
He's coming through.
It seems as if my dreams are coming true. Why ever did I wake up?
Easy, careful.
I dreamed I was in a forest. Much like this one, only lit torches. And there were lamps swinging from the branches. And there were fires on the ground. There was a feast going on. A feast going on forever. I could not describe to you all the things there were to eat and drink. You need not try.
I can't talk about something else. You had better be silent. These will do us no good if we never come back alive.
How a feast we shan't remain alive much longer anyway. Look there! Look! My dream!
Gandalf said we shouldn't leave the path!
Here right now!
Come back, Bomba!
Feely!
Bring us
giants. They're coming out to get over there.
No one is disturbed, do I say. I shall send Mr. Baggins along to stop them. They won't be frightened.
What about me and them?
Anyway, I hope they won't do anything nasty to him. Look, Mr. Baggins.
Oh, he's gone like Bomber!
All about having the most gorgeous dinner. But we're not talking supreme.
Dream dinners are no good. You can't share them.
They are likely the best I am likely to get in this peaceful place.
Lights. They're coming out again! Around us!
Hundreds of torches!
Suddenly by magic.
It's hard to see.
This way! Kitty! Left this way!
Brothers to the beast!
Come back here! No, wait! Back here! No! I'm not even talking!
Skins they have, to be sure. They're not as fast as they might be. I've been feeling not too well of late, I guess. They're just coming round again, I should say. After the usual sleep, I'll show you. Kill him now and hang him dead for a while. He's alive. I'll soon win into
Give you a name, and I shall call you Sting. Why did we not remember Gandalf's advice? What a mess we're in! If only it were we. It is horrible being all alone.
Somehow, the killing of the giant spider, all alone by himself in the dark without the help of the wizard or of the dwarves, made a great difference to Mr. Baggins. He felt a much different person, much fiercer and bolder in spirit in spite of an empty stomach. He began to wonder what had become of his most unfortunate friends, and it was not long before he discovered.
Go on!
Go on!